Well, hello my YouTube family everywhere. Welcome. Boy, do I have a great video for you today, my friends. And yes, this is Jason, the Canadian YouTube creator, but also known as, are you ready? Of course, Jason Cosmic RSSP Authority. Now, my present subscribers, and thank you all my present subscribers sincerely, but for newbies new to my channel, RSSP stands for Real Secret Space Program, way up there in space. I try to bring transparency and truth for topics like the black budget technology, my friends. I've made it my life goal to try to penetrate this black budget technology. But today, my friends, and I discuss the missing trillions. I get into a lot of different kaleidoscope of topics that are important issues, I believe, for our society, my friends. And I'm trying to dig in for the truth, okay? For all of us, my friends, we can be advocates for the truth. We've got to bring sufficient transparency, and we've got to demand it from our governments and leadership, right, guys? We absolutely do. So are you ready today, my friends? I think it's important that I expose a certain person today. I love exposing some of the CIA dirty puppets out there, my friends, because we got to do it. We absolutely do. Now, this person is not directly associated with the CIA, but he might as well be, because his podcast, as you're going to find out, my friends, it has got a lot of CIA spooks behind his podcast. Now, who am I talking about? Are you guys asking yourself that question? I hope you are. Just before I answer it, my friends, and show you who this person is, just a quick reminder, everybody, really, in my description, I'm going to have my, hopefully, Facebook, Instagram, multimedia links if you guys want to follow me. And hopefully I will have my Ko-Fi linked up. That allows a one-time donation for those of you that are willing and wanting to support my channel. I'd really appreciate it. I know we're in dire times, a lot of people with finances. So I discontinued Patreon. I was having problems with it anyways. And I figured, you know what? Ko-Fi, allowing a one-time donation is the better way to go. So again, anybody wants to support my channel, if you guys want me to have more heft, projection in my videos, more powerful videos, better sound quality, for example, then you know what to do, guys. And again, I'd really appreciate it. And actually, you know what? For those that want to support my channel, I'll even work on getting you guys a trip to Mars, because I got an informant at Lockheed Martin. I've always told you guys that. I like to keep the classified on the world on their toes. And again, guys, I'm digging in. I got certain connections out there. I'll get you a free trip to Mars, because I plan on going the next 5 years, believe it or not. Elon Musk, he tells you he's going in 5 years. Well, why not the fitness captain? Why not Jason Cosmic RSSP Authority? And I'll bring some people, my friends. Like I said, I got some connections. So stay with me. So here we go, my friends. Who are we going to expose today? And again, I hope you'll subscribe, guys. I hope you give me the thumbs up if you enjoy my videos. Good for the algorithms. And feel free to leave a comment, my friends. I read them. I appreciate the engagement, okay? Especially on this video. I'd love to see some comments coming in. Who is this? It's Joe Rogan, right, guys? Sexy bald Joe Rogan, I might add. I hope you guys like the hair, or the lack of. Anyway, Joe Rogan, my friends, he's got the biggest podcast in the world, right? He sure does. And, you know, he invites some interesting guests, don't get me wrong. And I like his UFC commentating, most of his UFC commentating. I dig that part of his personality. But, my friends, there are so many other issues that he should be talking about. And some of these guests that he does have on, my friends, he doesn't ask them the hard questions. And I'll give you an example. And like I said, my friends, we're going to do future videos on Joe Rogan. And I'm going to future show you guys, without a doubt, there is a lot of CIA behind the curtains. I've always described, my friends, unfortunately, Rogan's podcast, though it's the largest in the world, and this is why it's so despicable, my friends, it's largely corporatism, just under the flag and banner of social politics. It absolutely is. He's got so much corporations, corporate power behind his podcast. It's incredible. This guy goes out, you know, with owners of Google and some of the owners of YouTube, which is fine. But you know what? You know what this guy does? I'm going to give you guys an example. You talk about the degraded discourse that Rogan has on his podcast. This guy's been smoking way too much pot for way too long, I believe. This guy has the audaciousness to on his podcast, and he doesn't get censored, unlike David Icke. Remember, guys, they took David Icke's video off of London Real because David Icke was going to get millions of people watching that podcast, or at least a million or so, and YouTube actually banned him. They said they were tightening up the rules, YouTube did, because he was talking about 5G technology and the fascist state that we see rolling in, my friends. We've got to fight for our freedoms, and yet YouTube banned him. Can you believe it? But Joe Rogan gets to talk, and he literally says that uncircumcised cock penises are better than circumcised. This is what he said on his podcast with his boyfriend, Brendan Schaub. I believe they're closet gay boyfriends, which is fine. I mean, just be comfortable with your own sexuality. Of course, Rogan, he'll never tell you that he's gay. That's just my suspicions, my opinion, my friends. I think it's quite obvious. Even though you have a wife and you got kids, that's all great, fine and dandy. Joe Rogan makes so many, male sexual comments, and it's incredible on his podcast, guys. And to say that uncircumcised cock penises is better than circumcised, well, I got news for you, Joe Rogan. Most women especially would concur that circumcised is a lot better looking than uncircumcised cock. But I digress, guys. So that's just one example, my friends. And more importantly, I gotta laugh, my friends. It's so outrageous that Rogan has Elon Musk. I'm glad he kind of, in a way, had Musk on the podcast, guys, but he never asked him any of the hard questions, my friends. And a guy in Joe Rogan's position, he absolutely could help us revolutionize the world and us together, my friends. A person in his position should be talking about the important issues, trying to bring transparency and truth on the missing trillions, for example, guys. I'm going to show you Elon Musk. This is my rant on Joe Rogan today. Can you tell, my friends? I hope you're enjoying it, because it's important, though, my friends. Look, the guy doesn't talk about the missing trillions from the U.S. federal government. How about $21 trillion missing from the Treasury since 1998, my friends? That's a hard figure. How about $60 trillion in assets estimated by Catherine Austin Fitts, the great financial expert that was secretary, remember, for Housing and Urban Development under George W. Bush. She's trying to bring transparency to the black budget for 15 years, my friends. She helped get that hard figure, $21 trillion, that was reported worldwide. Rogan doesn't mention a peep about it. He doesn't mention that Catherine is estimating now we got $60 trillion in assets shifted out of the government, my friends. You think that could be a part of the impetus for the COVID-19 virus, being engineered? You better believe it. That's the kind of money we're talking about, my friends, from some of the greedy, petro-Nazi American British misanthropic money whores out there, the petro-oligarchs, I call them, the troglodytes, and the militarized warmongers, right? And kleptocrats, because there's a lot of liars. Joe Rogan might as well be a kleptocrat, my friends. He doesn't talk about these important issues. He deliberately avoids it, my friends, and it's disgusting. That's not how we get our power and sovereignty back, right, my friends? We got to talk about these issues. We got to have intelligent discourse. So he gets Elon Musk, and Joe Rogan, he's such a moron. Rogan probably doesn't even know that Elon Musk is certainly a CIA puppet. I've been telling you guys in so many videos that Elon Musk, I show you, he's a CIA operational asset. He's used as a commercial dangle, my friends, to disorient the public, to lie to you guys, send a lot of disinformation lies, because he's using rockets. And Joe Rogan, my friends, I gotta laugh. This guy literally pumped up. I gotta bring up my props here, my friends. Hold on, I'm coming back. Joe Rogan, I'm trying to find the props, my friends. Joe Rogan was bragging about rockets. Can you believe it? Yeah. And Elon Musk. Elon Musk is using his Falcon 5 sophisticated heavy rocket. The point is, my friends, anybody who looks at real history, rockets is 1943 Nazi German technology with the V2, my friends. Within the heart of the military-industrial complex, they're way past rockets, guys. It's called anti-gravity. And this has been discussed, my friends. Any researcher worth a grain of salt will tell you. And I study this, my friends. And again, I just might have an informant at Lockheed Martin, guys. This is free energy generation propulsion systems. And a guy like Rogan, my friends, he should be talking about the black budget, exotic, amazing technology, right? It's free energy, man. Instead, he goes along with Elon Musk. And I'll never forget it, guys, on a podcast, Joe Rogan, you'll see him, I'll show you clips one day, my friends. He discusses about, they show a clip of a rocket landing in the same spot, and Rogan goes, oh my God, it's amazing. He says in so many words that it lands at the same time with his guest. I mean, this is a joke, my friends. We deserve way better space travel than rockets. All the space companies, including Elon Musk with SpaceX, my friends, including Branson, you know, with the Virgin Company, including Deuce Bigelow, I call him, you know, Bigelow Aerospace, they're all scamming U.S. taxpayers' pockets, which affects my Canadians, my friends. They absolutely are. When you're using rockets, we deserve way better than that, my friends. We deserve the truth on the black budget technology. The cover-up has been going on for 70 years, my friends. This is why I get so exasperated. 70 years, yes. And I show you guys if you watch my past videos. So, Elon Musk, my friends, did you know, and Rogan won't tell you this, of course, he should be, that astronomers and cosmologists, they're furious at Elon Musk because this idiot wants, in my opinion, Musk is a complete idiot in a lot of ways, my friends. He's been a sellout, like I said, and a CIA operational asset. He's signing non-disclosure agreements. There's a lot he supposedly can't talk about, right? This is how the CIA works, my friends, and elements in the NSA, the NRO, and the defense contractors, okay? And so, and yet Elon Musk chooses to sell his soul, in my opinion, my friends, and Rogan's doing much the same thing. When you lie to millions of people on these all-important issues, and it's almost just as importantly what Musk doesn't say as what he does say, my friends, just like Joe Rogan, right? So anyway, I was saying, guys, the cosmologists and astronomers around the world, they're furious at Elon Musk because this idiot wants to put up, what, 42,000 satellites blocking out the stars. That's their argument, my friends, and they're right. He's going to block out the stars so we can't even see our majestic, amazing universe properly. And I did a whole video on cosmology in the universe, my friends, talking about the Hubble telescope, the James Webb. We're going to do that, hopefully, God willing, in the future for you guys too. I think it's you know, fascinating subjects. Hopefully you guys agree, you know, appreciating our amazing cosmos. So Elon Musk, my friends, he's doing a lot of unethical things. This guy is not a good leader. His whole, you know, he's getting $800 million loan from the government. He's in bed with the government, my friends, and this means the elements of the CIA. There's no question about it, okay? Who gets an $800 million loan to continue? Well, Elon Musk does. Again, he's a commercial dango, my friends. And even Billy Carson, who owns First Class Space Agency, he'll tell you that, you know, that rockets is dumb. And my buddy Michael Schratt will tell you rockets is dinosaur obsolete technology. Michael Schratt, the great aerospace aircraft historian. That's who Joe Rogan should be interviewing, right? The guys like Michael Schratt, Billy Carson. And guess what? Why is Joe Rogan not interviewing Bill Gates, my friends? Well, no one's ever talked about that I know of. Why is Rogan not interviewing the global vaccine Bill Gates? Oh, we're going to do videos on Bill Gates. I'm going to have a field day with this guy. Mr. Global Vaccine, Mr. Authority, right, on global vaccines. Anyway, this is supposed to be a rant on Joe Rogan, guys, but Rogan should be interviewing Bill Gates. The reason he won't, you'll probably never see Bill Gates interviewed on Rogan. I bet you won't, my friends. The reason is Bill Gates will be exposed even more than he already has. People will tune into Rogan's podcast. Rogan will have to ask him at least a few hard questions on the vaccine issue. And millions of people know that Bill Gates is doing it for his corporate ethos, largely, my friends. This guy shouldn't be an authority on anything to do with the medical field or health. This guy knows nothing, my friends. It's all about his corporate ethos, okay? For his corporations, his corporate cronies, and the CIA, my friends. There's no doubt about it, okay? And this guy wants like 77 vaccines. I'm not against vaccines, guys. The basic ones, like 21 vaccines that most people agree with. But this guy wants 77. And Robert F. Kennedy, I don't want you guys to forget this, he even tells you got 300 vaccines coming down the pipeline that they want to install for us, my friends. You talk about slavery and bullshit. This is incredible. So anyway, guys, I just wanted to show you some of the guests that Joe Rogan should have on, and some of the guests that he has had on, like an Elon Musk, which he doesn't ask him the hard questions. And, guys, he also has the likes of... I'll give Rogan credit, guys. He did have Tom DeLonge on, remember? Tom DeLonge, the burned out rock star from Blink-182, right? Who was the front man for the TTSA, To the Stars Academy, which anybody who has a brain knows that's a Lockheed Martin CIA marketing merchandise cash grab. all these guys come on stage, including Tom DeLonge, and they're all retired Lockheed Martin guys and retired, literally former CIA. And now they're probably hired as CIA contractors, and they want you to believe they're like some heroes or something, and it's part entertainment, part science, Tom DeLonge and the rest of them describe. Well, Joe Rogan interviewed Tom DeLonge, and I'm glad he did, because Rogan actually it was Tom DeLonge who did it himself. He sounded like a complete moron. He had so many lies, he didn't even make sense, and Joe Rogan, I don't even know if Rogan meant to do it, but he exposed Tom DeLonge. So, way to go, Rogan. At least you did that. That's one good thing. But I want to show you guys another person that Tom DeLonge, or where is he? I can't find him now, guys. Where did he go? I was looking for Bob Lazar. Sorry, my friends. But just know, Joe Rogan interviewed Bob Lazar as well. Bob Lazar is just a disinformation agent for years, my friends, right? Bob Lazar is a complete sellout, in my opinion. This guy in his own backyard at Area 51, just even in a recent interview, remember his whole story for years is he saw these UFOs and that he thinks some were ET at Hangar 51. Guys, he wouldn't know an ET UFO, Bob Lazar, if it bit him on the ass. You know what I'm saying? I mean, come on. It's so outrageous. And recently, Bob Lazar even said in an interview, because they're doing a documentary on Bob Lazar, right? He had the nerve to say that the UFOs that he saw, they weren't a mock-up. They were from another star system. Rogan didn't even ask Bob Lazar hardly any hard questions at all. He never contradicted Bob Lazar at all on his stories. I mean, it's just so ridiculous. I had a picture of Bob Lazar. Oh, here he is, my friends. So Joe Rogan, he interviewed Bob Lazar for like 2 hours. Guys, the point is, Rogan should not be wasting our time interviewing 2 to 3 hours with a Bob Lazar who's been proven to be a liar, okay? And Joe Rogan should be talking instead about the defense contractors. How about the fraud, waste, abuse, mismanagement, and theft that is completely off the charts we know from the U.S. federal government, guys, the black budget, right? That's what Rogan should be discussing, the missing trillions, my friends, right? And let's get that back on the budget. And there are ways to do it, my friends. It's going to be a challenge, but we can do it. But preferably, we need guys like Joe Rogan, or should have guys like Rogan, I should say, to discuss it, my friends, especially when you got that kind of platform that Rogan's built up, right? I give Rogan credit. He's probably worked hard in some ways to build up his podcast, but at the same time, I think he's selling his soul, my friends. When you, again, guys, when you don't discuss and try to bring transparency and truth on the missing trillions from your own country, Joe Rogan, from your U.S. federal government, Rogan, he should know the CIA, for example, elements of the CIA and the defense contractors. They have, some of the misanthropic money hoarders, the shadow groups, they have caused enormous sadness, depression, heartache, anguish around the world, my friends. They absolutely have. And we've got to decapitate, I believe, elements of the CIA, my friends. They're a rogue agency. I've discussed the history of the CIA. We need a whole new awareness campaign over the intelligence agencies, my friends. And Rogan should be saying the same thing, but he doesn't discuss it hardly at all. It's a shame. He won't even mention the word U.S. I don't even think Rogan's ever used the term CIA in his podcast. Certainly doesn't discuss it in any serious way, my friends. And you've got to discuss the CIA. You've got to show their unethical acts that we see all the time, my friends. I've told you, they create ethnic wars around the world. I'm not the only one that knows this and talks about it, my friends. But more of us need to discuss it. We need to stop their insidious behavior. And there's still good people in these organizations, my friends. I always add a qualifier, even in the CIA. And we need those good people also to fight for us, right, guys? But largely the CIA are unconstrained and out of control, doing a lot of monumental crimes. And we could see it all the time, my friends, and unconstitutional activities. And Joe Rogan, he never talks about the deep state or shadow government. None of these issues, my friends. And it's about time we call him on it. So here he is. Remember, Rogan interviewed Bob Lazar from Area 51. And I'll never forget, guys, if you ever saw Rogan's interview with Bob Lazar, especially at the beginning. Thank you. I got a lady, she's cheering for me. Thanks. Thank you, sweetheart. Trying to bring transparency and truth with my fans on YouTube so we could change this world and grow a culture society to sustain ethical leadership. That's what it's all about too, right, guys? As I was saying, it's great to have fans. And I hope you guys will subscribe and give me the thumbs up, my friends, and leave a comment if you want, like I said, and share my videos hopefully too, okay? And check my description. As I was saying, you know, Bob Lazar, my friends, he's a complete joke, okay? And at the beginning of their interview, I'll show you clips one day, Bob Lazar apparently isn't feeling very well, and Joe Rogan says, oh, I know you have a cold, we won't talk too long, or something like that. He was just being real sympathetic with Bob Lazar, talking to him as if he's some kid, you know? It's just, Bob Lazar is a disgrace, in my opinion, my friends. And George Knapp, who put Bob Lazar out in the public, George Knapp admitted it, he's also a CIA operational asset. And you'll never hear George Knapp interviewed by Joe Rogan, right? I mean, we got to expose, my friends, these CIA dirty players, right? We absolutely do. So there's a lot of areas that Joe Rogan needs to improve, my friends, but he's made his decision. He is selling his soul largely, my friends, when you don't talk about these all-important issues and you act the way you do. I mean, I told you some of his outrageous statements on the podcast, and he never got censored, did he? I wonder what the owners of Google, you know, some of the Jews out there, these powerful Jews that own our amazing platform that we use like YouTube, that I respect so much. I wonder what they think of Joe Rogan's comments about uncircumcised, you know, penises. We know Jews, amazing Jewish people out there, they're all circumcised pretty much, right? They believe in that. So why is Joe Rogan saying the opposite? Makes you wonder, right, guys? It's why does he get to talk about what he talks about on these podcasts, my friends? Well, I would argue it seems like it's all because it's all about corporate power, my friends, corporate greed. Joe Rogan is subscribing largely to the CIA playbook on mass media, my friends. You got to remember the CIA have an incestuous relationship. Elements of the CIA, also British intelligence, they have incestuous relationship with mass media, and that includes Joe Rogan's podcast, I believe, my friends. It's quite obvious. And there is a young guy that exposed Joe Rogan as well, remember? I'll get his name for you guys. He did a great job, and this is why I'm doing my video today too, to do the same thing in my own way, my friends. I think it's very important to show what Rogan is doing, okay? We'll do future videos, like I said, on Rogan, okay? So, again, guys, we've got to talk about the intelligence communities, and we could do it respectfully but firmly, my friends, including the defense contractors, the likes of Lockheed Martin. You'll never hear Joe Rogan discuss Lockheed Martin and what they're doing, my friends. You'll never hear Joe Rogan, and he should be telling you that 85% of what Lockheed Martin does is classified. Did you know that, guys? And unfortunately, elements of Lockheed Martin, they're also doing unconstitutional, sometimes monumental crimes. And yet, I always add a qualifier, Lockheed Martin, the CIA, they never have to be mad at me, because Lockheed Martin have some of the best engineers and scientists, my friends. But we've got to expose these shadow groups. We got to stop this insidious behavior, my friends, because literally, the likes of Lockheed Martin, elements of the Boeing, Northrop Grumman as well, the defense contractors, and the CIA, my friends, they are literally financially harvesting the planet. They're gouging trillions of dollars over the years from taxpayers, you hard-earned taxpayers out there, my friends. That affects all our allies, not just America, right? And they use hundreds of billions of dollars of covert economic crime cash flows every year. Even just Lockheed Martin by themselves, my friends. They use hundreds of billions of dollars of covert economic crime cash flows, largely for military UFOs, by the way. Yes. So I think I've said enough on Joe Rogan today, my friends. We're going to do future videos on him. I hope you enjoyed my rant, for the most part, on Joe Rogan today, my friends. I just thought I had to do it, my friends. I think it's very, very important, right? Again, my friends, it's all about how do we grow a culture and society to sustain ethical leadership. And unfortunately, I don't think Joe Rogan has done a very good job at helping us moving towards that, right, my friends? We have not had a great ethical leader really since John F. Kennedy, I would say. And I haven't heard Rogan mention a peep hardly at all about John F. Kennedy, right? Again, guys, he doesn't have hardly any intelligent discourse on these all-important issues. So, speaking of podcasts, my friends, I guess I should end this video to ask you, compel you guys, those of you that have some knowledge about these areas and that want to continue to do research investigation, which I think is very important. I find it very enticing and invigorating. Hopefully you guys do as well. Those of you that want to discuss these all important topics and issues, and I commend you, those of you that are interested in trying to help the world, let's do some podcasts together, okay? I did a podcast about a year ago with Joe from the Carolinas. Hopefully I'll have that linked in the description as well. We had almost 3,000 views, guys. I think it was one of the most powerful, electrifying live streams ever done. And so much so that Joe even got censored, it looked like, guys. He couldn't even do a live stream for 3 months afterwards. It's a long story. I'll tell you tell you more about another time, guys. So those of you that may want to do a podcast with me, I'd be honored. I'd be privileged. Let's do it, guys. Let's change this world. Let's use the YouTube platforms respectfully, and let's grow a culture and society so we can sustain ethical leadership. Like I said, right, everyone? Let's do it, okay? Thank you so much for listening, my friends. Take care. More great videos to come, I promise. Joe Rogan needed to be exposed today, my friends. And I hope you guys understand. I hope you agree with a lot of what I said. Leave me a comment if you want, like I said, good or bad. Take care, guys. See ya. Hope you'll subscribe. Bye.